Yeah, today we'll discuss about the basic terms of the costing or different types of cost classification possible. That is generally come for theory question. So let's start. First term is about the term cost. What do you mean by the cost? So bacha, for this you have to understand cost is anything, any expense whichever you are going to incur for making that product or for rendering the services. Whatever expenses you incur from your pocket, it is a cost in simple language. Let's see the definition. The definition says cost is a measurement in monetary terms of the amount of resources used for the purpose of production of goods or for rendering services. Okay, or for rendering services. I hope this meaning of cost is clear to you, bacha. Shall I proceed?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The next term is about the costing. Now, what do you mean by costing? What we are going to do with costing? Okay, so bacha, costing is nothing but it is a process. We can say it is a technique, or it may be a method for finding out the cost of any product or any services. Okay, cost is basically the expense which you are going to incur, and costing is a method to find out, to calculate, to understand those expenses. Okay, that is the meaning of costing. Okay, now the next one is about the what do you mean by the cost accounting. Okay, now cost accounting is a little broader concept than the costing. Okay bacha, costing, in costing what we do, we just understand, find out the costing, the cost of any product. But in cost accounting, we not only find out the cost of the product, but also we prepare various types of report. We also take some measures to control the cost of the, but we called it as a cost cutting also sometimes. Okay, so cost accounting is nothing but it is a combination of three things: costing, cost reporting, and cost control. I hope these three meanings are clear to you, bacha. Should I proceed? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bacha.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Yeah. The next is, what is the objective of cost accounting? What is the main aim of cost accounting? So what we are doing in cost accounting, bacha, first of all, we ascertain the cost. Okay, ascertain means to find out whatever cost is related in that particular period. We have to collect the all information related to that period and what type of cost has been incurred there. Okay, then, yes, Viren, you have any doubt, bacha? Be quick.
It by mistakenly, sir. Sorry.
Okay, beta, no problem. So next one is analysis of cost. Analyzing the cost means whatever expenses we have incurred, we have to understand it is related to which head, it is related to which period, it is related to what type of cost we are. So that is, analyzing is nothing but to understanding the different type of cost or expenses you have incurred. Okay. Then next one is allocating the cost. Allocating the cost means here, if the expenses are related with the material, we have to put in the material. If the expenses are related with the labor, we have to take it to the labor. If we have incurred various other type of expenses, we have to take in that head. That is the meaning of allocating. That means full expenses is booked in particular area, okay, or particular department. Then next one is apportionment of cost. Apportionment of cost means the common expenses, which are whatever the common expenses company is incurring, or industry or a factory is incurring, that should be divided among the respective department. Okay, whatever expenses, common expenses are incurred by the factory or department or the company, whatever you call, it should be divided among the different department who are taking the benefit of that services. Okay, that is the meaning of apportionment. Okay, that we have to do on the certain given basis. Okay, there will be some criteria on which we have to distribute the expenses. Okay, next one is absorb cost. Absorb cost means to find out the per cost unit. Means like if in a particular department, yeah, I have produced 10,000 unit. Okay, for that producing 10,000 unit, if you have incurred 1 lakh rupees, now what will be the cost for 1 unit? It will be 1 lakh divided by the unit produced. Simple. That is whatever expenses you incurred, we have to distribute, we have to find out in a particular department, and we have to divide it by the number of unit produced in that department. So whatever answer we'll get, it is per unit cost. That is the meaning of absorption. All possible expenses we have to recover here. Okay. Then the next is about the cost of, yeah, objective of cost reporting, you can say. So here we have to answer, or we have to think from 4 angles. First of all, we have to think what to be reported. Now when we say what to be reported, means we are talking about the content of the report. What should be reported, what content we have to take. Okay, it is material, labor, expenses, all sort of what elements we have to consider here. That is the meaning of what to report. We have to think from that point of view. Next one comes that whom to report. Just a minute, I have to disable the annotation. Yeah, fine. Now next one is whom to report. Whom to report means, bacha, that to which authority we have to report. Okay, whether we have to report to the management, or to the managers, or to the supervisors, like that we have to think that from whom we are reporting. Okay, accordingly the reports are prepared. Okay, the next one is when to report. But I remember in costing there is no that financial year concept that it will start from 1st of April and on 31st March. The reports can be prepared for 3 months also, it can be prepared for 13 months also, it can be prepared for 15 months also. So there is no time bound. If you see in cost accounting, there is no time bound matter. Whenever authority needs the report, we have to prepare it. So again the next question comes that when to report. Okay, so this is the answer, that whenever authority asks that if they want to find a product cost of last, or if they want to prepare cost sheet for last 6 months only, so we have to prepare cost sheet for 6 months. It is generally focused on products, okay, or the material basically. The next one is how to report. When we talk about how to report, bacha, they are talking about the format, in which format we have to report. Okay, that can be a process format also, that can be a budgetary control also, that can be your cost sheet format also. So there are various formats. Depending upon the requirement of the authorities, we have to prepare the report. Am I clear this reporting part, bacha? This too, reporting.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, yeah. The next one, beta, is about the cost control. Here, cost control is basically comes into picture when you have when you set any targets. Okay. So in cost control, how you are able to control the cost. Okay. For that, if you don't know how much we have decided as a target, we'll not able to control the cost. Okay. So first in this, there are a few steps we have to follow. Sorry. First is setting of the target. Okay. First is setting of the target. Let's say we have target of producing 20,000 units. Okay. Then we compare this target with the actual performance. Let's say in actual we are able to produce only 18,000 units. Now see, there is not exact target we are not able to achieve here. Okay, so then we compare how much there is a difference. Okay, like if you have a target of 20,000, you are able to produce only 18,000. Now there is a difference of 2,000. Now we have to understand, that is the analysis. Okay, we have to understand why we are not able to produce the set target, where we were lagging, whether the material has been properly carried, where the proper handling is done, whether our labors are efficiently worked in that particular period. So these are the analysis part, and after that we have to take the corrective action. Okay, that why things have not went in a proper way and what to be needed. Then the action part comes. So this is the main objective of cost accounting, we can say. Okay, so we understood the objectives of cost accounting as well as the that reporting part and the objective of cost control. I hope these things are clear to you guys. Objectives are clear, beta. So I move to the next important part, that is cost classification.
Yes, sir.
I need more time there because it's too lengthy. Okay. Now the next part is about the importance. This, if time permits, I will take at the last, bacha. This is nothing but it is advantages of costing for different stakeholders. Okay. So first of all, let me start with the cost classification. This is very, very, very much important. Generally 100% question come on this type of theory type question. Okay, they ask you to write cost classification on different basis, or they will specify the basis on the basis of behavior wise you have to write, Like you have to write on the basis of management purpose. So likewise, you have to write the answers. Okay, and this is the very much important question. Just that's why we'll take it fast. Now, first, cost classification can be done on a different basis. Very first is about on the basis of behavior. Now, I will take one by one means head, and I will explain one head first. Then I'll be asking you the doubt. If you have any doubt, then you will ask me after I complete one head particularly. Okay, beta? So if you see on the basis of behavior, cost classification is done in 3 ways. Okay. First one is fixed cost. Second one is variable cost, and third one is semi-variable cost. Now let's start with a fixed variable or fixed cost. Now, bacha, what is fixed cost? Fixed cost is those costs, those expenses which are going to remain fixed irrespective your production increases or decreases. Like bacha, salary of your employees, like rent of the premises, like audit fees. These are the fixed charges you have to pay. Okay, like depreciation also sometimes. So now fixed costs are those expenses which are going to remain fixed, whether you make 1000 unit, whether you make 1 lakh unit, it doesn't affect. Okay, bacha? The next one is variable cost. The variable cost is that cost which varies, which changes from your level of production. If you produces 10,000 unit, you need material for raw material for 10,000 unit. If you are making 100 unit, you need material for 100 unit. Am I clear, beta? Next one, or example maybe for in this is really direct labor also, or we can say the labor expenses. Like if you are paying the labor on the basis of their production. Okay, so if the worker able to produce 500 unit, you are paying the him for 500 unit. If he is making let's say 100 unit, you'll be paying for 100 unit. Likewise, same we can take one more example like sales commission, but the sales commission is also varies. If my salesman is making sale of 5,000 unit, I am giving the commission for 5,000 unit. If he is making only sale of 5 units, I am giving the commission for 5 units. Okay, and the last one is the semi-variable cost. But the semi-variable cost is the cost to some extent, whether you use it, whether you take that services or not, irrespective of your production, it to certain level it remain fixed. But as you start your production, okay, it keeps on increasing. Okay, it starts increasing. The best example we can say is your electricity bill. If you see, bacha, if you're not there in your home for 1 month also, then too you get the electricity bill. They will mention that fixed charges. Okay, same way for telephone bill also. If you are not there if you are not using your telephone for 1 month also, then too you have to pay certain amount. That is same way. But if you are using, if you are there in your home and you are continuously consuming the power, electricity, then you'll get the higher bill. Okay, you'll get the bill which is higher than the fixed cost price. Okay, so these are the 3 behavioral classification possible. Now tell me if you have any doubt in these 3. Be quick, beta. We have less time. I have to complete this part today.
No, sir.
No, beta? Very good. Anyone? No doubt?
No.
Okay, bacha. Now the next is on the basis of function, bacha. Are you able to see in the PPT now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
beta.
sir.
Yeah, no
Yes,
issue.
sir.
Now next one is on the basis of function. On the basis of functions. So on the basis of function, the classification can be done on the 5 bases. Okay, beta. Now first is production cost. Next is administration cost. Then we have selling cost, and the second last is distribution cost, and the last is research and development cost. Now let's start with the production cost. Which the production cost is that type of expenses which we are going to incur for making the product. That means in the factory, like wages of the labor, your security expenses, your depreciation on factory, raw material expenses, these all are called as production cost. Okay, you need those expenses. You have to incur those expenses for making the product in the factory premises, whatever you incur basically. Okay, beta. Next one is administration cost. Now the administration cost is those expenses we can say which we incurred in my office. Okay, like paying staff to salary, paying salary to staff, like paying rent of the office, charging depreciation on the office asset. These are the example of administration cost. Okay, beta. Next one is selling cost. Now for selling our product, whatever expenses we incur, beta, that is comes under selling cost. Example may be your advertisement, your commission, your salesman salary. These all, comes under selling cost. Next one is distribution cost. Now generally what happen, we take selling and distribution together. Now if you want, you can take it together. If you want, you can understand in a different way also, by doing separate also. Okay. So now next one is distribution cost. Distribution cost is nothing but, bacha, these are those expenses. Distribution cost is those expenses which we incur to make our product available to the customer's place. Okay. Or we can say after my product is ready, wherever from that ready product till the product reaches to the customer's place, whatever expense I incur is comes under distribution cost. It may be your transportation cost. It may be your finished goods where you store, that warehouse charges. Once you finish the goods, that also comes under distribution cost. Okay, beta. Next one is research and development. See, in today's scenario, what is happening? Every pharmaceutical company is doing research on which vaccine? Can you tell me which vaccine they are developing now?
COVID.
Very good. Perfect. So now this COVID vaccine. Now, and in today's scenario, everybody wants new product or the better use of the product. Okay. Now, so company have to incur various expenses for the research purpose. Okay. They have to continuously come up with the new product, new ideas, the new usage of the product. So whatever expenses company incur for the research and development purpose, that will come under research and development cost. Now, any doubt in this 5 classification? Please let me know fast.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, beta.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. The next one is on the basis of time. But on the basis of time, there is a major 2 classification. One is called historical cost and one is called predetermined cost. Now, what is historical cost? But historical cost is all those expenses which you have incurred in past. Okay. In past means, let's say I have purchased one vehicle 2 years back for 10 lakh. That 10 lakh 2 years back price is my historical cost. Understood? So that cost in today's scenario, what we can do at the most with that cost, we can just understand whether the expense was proper, it was in a genuine way spent, or whether we have paid higher amount. Like that, you can just understand, you can just analyze it. We can also call it, we can just do post-mortem that cost, nothing else. We cannot do anything else of that. Okay. Now, next one is predetermined cost. Predetermined cost is generally for the futuristic thing. Now, predetermined cost is also divided into 2 parts. One is standard cost and next one is estimated cost. Are you able to see in the PPT, beta? Standard cost, estimated cost?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
what is standard cost?
Yes,
Standard cost is nothing but it is calculated on the basis of some scientific standards, some scientific formulas, or whatever expense expected. Okay. Generally, every person in that industry or every company in that industry have to incur those expenses. That is a general standard. Yeah, that much how expense you have to incur. Like if you are applied for, if you are starting with any chemical factory, so there are certain expenses which you have to incur, like you have to bring that storage, you have to take the license permission. Those are the standard costs you have to incur. Then same way, there is the estimated cost, which estimated cost is calculated on the basis of your judgment, your past experiences, okay, your past data. Okay, now you tell me which one is more accurate, standard cost or estimated cost, bacha? Can you tell me which one will be more accurate?
Standard cost.
Standard
Standard
cost.
cost.
Yes, bacha.
Standard
Reason
cost.
is why, because it is
Standard
calculated
cost.
on the basis of certain,
Standard.
yes, some standard or some scientific formulas also we can say. Okay, beta. The next is, and this is the very, very, very important for the basis of cost classification for management purpose. Okay. Now, here we have 13 classifications, and this is very much important. Generally, you can get the question for this also, separate question for management classification. Now, first is called marginal cost. Okay. Now, marginal, what do you mean by marginal cost? Bacha? Marginal cost is nothing but it is all expenses you incur for making one additional unit. Okay, one additional unit. This you have already studied somewhere in economics, if you remember. Yes or no? Marginal cost.
Yes, sir.
Yes, beta.
Yes, sir.
So marginal cost for costing purpose, we can say we have to incur all basics expenses plus additional variable expense for making one single additional product. Okay. So the formula for marginal cost, we can say prime cost plus the variable cost. Understood? The next one is opportunity cost. Now, what do you mean by opportunity cost? Generally, students are confused in this. Opportunity cost means, bacha, whatever opportunity you have missed it. Okay, like suppose we have machinery which can produce two products, but one at a time, not both. Okay, like from that machinery I can produce, with the help of that machinery I can produce product A also and product B also, but not both together. Okay, at a time I can produce only one. So let's say if you are taking the decision of make production of product A, then you have lost the opportunity of making product B and getting the profit out of it. Yes or no, beta? That is the meaning. Whatever you have lost, the product opportunity of product B you have lost, that is the opportunity cost, which you have missed it. Generally, students are confused with the opportunity which we have grabbed it. It is not like that. It is the opportunity which you have missed it. That is the opportunity cost. You are not able to produce that product. That is your cost. Okay, beta? Next one is replacement cost. Now, what do you mean by replacement cost? Replacement cost is nothing but basically, if suppose in today's scenario, if you want to replace any old machinery, okay, in today, if you want to replace any old machinery with the new one, okay, now whatever expense you incur for replacing the old machinery with the new one from the current market price, it will be a replacement cost. Okay, whatever expense you incur for replacing the old machinery with the new one, it may be machinery, it may be vehicle, it may be property, anything. Okay, but whatever expense you incur for replacing the old one with the new one at the new current price, it is replacement cost. For replacing that asset, you have to incur certain expenses. Na beta? That is replacement cost. The next one is imputed cost. Okay, next one is imputed cost. Imputed cost is nothing but it is just an imaginary cost. It is, we can say it is a hypothetical cost, or we also named it as a notional cost, wherein there is no movement of cash. There is no actual payment of cash. Okay, actual cash will not go from your pocket only. Okay, it is just for decision making purpose we use this imputed cost. Example we can take, let's say owner, whoever has invested in this business, he have a two opportunity, either to invest money in the business or somebody still joining, either to invest in the business or to keep that money in the bank. Which decision he will take, that depends upon the imputed cost. Which one is higher, which one is giving higher return. Okay, if my business is giving higher return than the bank, then I will invest the money in the business. And if my bank is giving higher return than my business, then I will invest the money in the bank. Yes or no? I'll keep it as a FD. That is the meaning of imputed cost. It is just calculated on the basis of for the decision making purpose. At the same time, if owner is using his own property for business purpose, okay, then he have an option to give that property on a rent to someone else or start his own business. So again, you have to think for the rent of own property, which one is giving higher return, whether that rent from outsider is coming more or from the business it is giving me more profit. So these are the imputed cost. It is just a imaginary cost. It is useful for making the decisions. Okay. Then next one is sunk cost. Now, bacha, sunk cost is nothing but it is the expense, or it is, we can say it is a historical cost which you have already incurred in past, and today it have no relevance. Okay, example, let's say an example like the machinery which you have purchased 5 years back for 10 lakh rupees. Now today its price will not be 10 lakh. It will be a WDV price, depreciated price. Okay, today's WDV, depreciated price is of waste. It's of no use. Okay, it was incurred in past, so it is sunk like that time only. Okay, for that, for purchasing new machinery, that sunk cost is irrelevant. That is of no use. Okay, that's why the expense you have incurred past is become sunk cost. Okay, Bacha, I have 10 minutes left, so Next one is controllable cost and uncontrollable cost. Now, bacha, what is controllable cost? It is a relative term, bacha. Controllable cost is a relative term which varies from department to department, department head office to branch, like that, and from person situation to situation also. Let's take an example. Suppose my head office is incurring expense of 10 lakh rupees. Okay. Now, this 10 lakh rupees will be shared by all branches. Yes or no? Ultimately, whatever expenses incurred by head office have to recover from branches only. Now, if you see from branch point of view, this cost, please, somebody has unmuted their mic. Please mute yourself, beta. Yeah. So, for branch point of view, if you see, from branch point of view, that expense which head office has incurred is uncontrollable. But for head office, that is controllable. I told you, it is relative. It's differ from situation to situation, or from branch to branch, or branch head office. Okay. Next one is relevant cost. Relevant cost is, relevant cost is that cost which is related, which is relevant in for a specific purpose or specific situation. Example, let's take an example. Today's depreciated, that machinery, I gave you example of machinery. That depreciated price of that old machinery is related for its sale. Okay, is relevant for its sale. If I want to sell that old machinery, then I need that WDV price, okay, to calculate profit. If you remember, in accountancy, we have to calculate the profit on sale. Yes or no? Whenever you sell any asset, you have to calculate that profit on sale of asset. So for that purpose, we need the depreciated cost of machine. Yes or no? So for that situation, it is related cost, it is relevant cost. But for taking a decision of buying new machinery, it is of no use, it is irrelevant cost. Okay, bacha? Next one is avoidable and unavoidable cost. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Avoidable and unavoidable cost. But avoidable cost is basically those costs, those expenses which we can avoid by taking proper care or by taking proper decisions, we can say, like spoilage of material. Can my spoilage of material I avoid by handling by proper handling and care of the material? Yes, exactly. Okay, but your unavoidable costs are those expenses which you cannot avoid it, like paying the wages to your employees. We cannot become a Vijay Mallya all the time, na? Okay, so we cannot avoid those costs.
Yes, sir.
Unavoidable cost. Okay, we have to pay the wages, we have to pay the rent of the premises. Okay, these costs are called as inescapable cost also. Okay, avoidable, unavoidable is clear, beta? Then next one is differential cost. This I will take it the last because I need more explanation there. So next one is normal and abnormal cost. Normal cost, basically in normal scenario, normal situation, if production is going on, product is being sold by the sales team, is everything is in normal situation, whatever expense we incur, okay, that is called as normal cost. Now what do you mean by abnormal cost? Suppose if there is some unusual happening occurred, okay, unusual thing happened, like breakdown of the machinery. If machinery breakdowns, my worker will sit idle, they will not do any work, but then too I have to pay them, that is my abnormal cost. If the workers went for strike also, then too I have to pay them. Okay, if my workers stop doing that, that also comes under abnormal cost, and this I have to take it to the costing P&L. Okay, beta? And the last one is now differential cost. Now understand very carefully. Differential cost is nothing but it is a cost which we incur or arise, or these are the costs which arises due to change in the level of production. Let's say, understand this. If I was producing 10,000 unit, bacha, if I was producing 10,000 unit, now if I decided to produce 12,000 unit, there is a change in level of activity. I have increased my production. So due to change in the level of activity, obviously my cost will also going to increase. In when I was producing 10,000 unit, I was able to, or I was incurring 1 lakh as a cost. Okay. Now, if I am producing 12,000 unit, then my cost will be increased. Let's say it was 1,10,000. So this increase of 10,000 is differential cost. Let's say in another way also. If my production capacity I was producing is 10,000 units. Now I have decided to produce 9,000 unit also. I have decided to produce 9,000 unit only. Then this cost is going to reduce. Let's say the cost comes as 95,000. So if you see there's a decrease of 5,000. This is differential cost. So bacha, any change in the cost due to change in the level of activity, it is called as differential cost. I hope this all 13s are clear. Next one is element basis. On the basis of element, we have to distribute on the basis of element, we can distribute in a direct material, direct labor and direct expenses. At the same time, cost center, cost of ISB, we can distribute. Major head is direct expense and indirect expense. That is all the indirect expense will be treated differently. Okay. And direct expense will be treated differently. Okay. Now I'm open for the doubt. I have how much time? I have 3 minutes, 4 minutes approx. So if you have any doubt in any cost, just let me know. Fast, bacha. Any cost if you want to know.
Sir, sunk cost.
हाँ बेटा, sunk cost is that historical cost which you have incurred in past. Bacha, for today's decision, it is of no use. We cannot do anything with that cost. Okay, let's say मैंने बताया ना आपको कि if you have